You dabbled, or at least were considering dabbling in politics in Bangladesh. Why did you back off? What stopped you from getting involved in the political process back home?
Well, Bangladesh politics is a very unhappy one. It's very confrontational politics. There's a lot of corruption in politics. People are kind of frustrated about that. So we had a caretaker government because we couldn't go to the election because of the confrontational situation in the country between the political parties. So when the caretaker government came in, it's a non-political government run by civil society persons. So that time there was a tremendous pressure on me that maybe we need alternative politics. Otherwise we'll get stuck with these two kinds of confrontational political parties that we traditionally have. So under those kind of pressures, finally I said, okay, I'll join politics and form a political party. And I started trying that, now that I've committed myself to do that, let me do something that I can do. So I went around talking to my friends who were always encouraging me to join politics. And I see that those who have been very active in promoting that idea themselves don't want to join politics. Each one has his own explanation why he or she doesn't want to be in politics. And I saw that corrupt politicians who are now being chased by the caretaker government for their corruption charges started assembling around me. And I felt very funny that now if I form a political party, I'll be surrounded by corrupt politicians and I'll say, hey, this is my party. And it didn't look good. I said, that's not what I wanted to do. And instead of staying on in this direction longer, why don't I just say I can't proceed with that? So 2 months later, I said, no, I don't want to proceed with this idea. I'll stop here. So that's how we stopped that.
Right. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the current global financial situation and the downturn that we're in right now. In your estimation, how did it get started? What can we do to fix it?
Well, everybody agrees how it got started. It got started in one country, USA.
Sure.
And it was created by a relatively small number of people. The whole American nation was not involved in creating that. It was a small number of people who are active in the business world, who are at the top of the marketplace. They became so greedy in making money for themselves or for their clients and so on. They destroyed the whole system because of their super greed. They converted the marketplace into a sort of a gambling casino. So they felt that they didn't feel that they are businessmen, they felt that they are gamblers, taking risk of unprecedented nature. As a result, the whole thing collapsed. It couldn't take it anymore. And the financial system moved away from the ground reality of world. So it's not based on real economy. It became a kind of a fantasy world of its own. And when that you are creating a castle in the air, you always run the risk that if it starts falling, the whole thing falls right away. And that's what exactly happened. And the fact that it was happening in the USA, which is the kind of global capital of the financial market, immediately it's transmitted to the whole world because of the globalization. Globalization brought the whole world together. Now the crisis, which was a local crisis, it became a global crisis. So every nation is suffering from that. How do you get over it? It's one issue, which is a very important issue because a lot of people will be suffering because of this crisis. At the same time, I raised a separate issue. I said, while the crisis is at the deepest point, this is also the most exciting point for opportunities to rebuild it, redesign it. So we shouldn't just look at it as a crisis only. It is the greatest of our opportunity to rebuild the economy, rebuild our concept, rebuild our way of doing things, so that we move to the right direction with the right structure. Because this structure will create problems of the type that it already created. This is one. There are previous examples of such crises. So we didn't fix anything. We just kind of patched it together to move again. Patchwork shouldn't be done this time. This will be real work, real overhauling. Take it apart, take piece by piece and rebuild, redesign so that we can go on. I think that is the most important part of it. Of course, the other issues will remain, how to do that. One of the things that need to be reminded everybody that in the crisis period, everybody tries to protect their own jobs so that people who are losing jobs, that can be resolved very quickly. But the moment you try to resolve your own position, own job situation, you become focused on your own issues. You're not looking at the rest of the world as a whole. Opening up should not be stopped. You just don't stop closing your borders down so that you retain your jobs, retain your work and so on. The more you build up the economy of the world, the more chances you have in restarting the whole process again. So that way we don't become again in a kind of narrowly focused national economy type of policies. That I think ultimately that won't be a good thing. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be redesign the whole system. We have to redesign the system. We must know what is it that you want at the end of all this. Where do you want to go? This is the time to list them, our desires, the wish list. This is what we want to, and then pick it up and see how do you do that. If the system works perfectly, nobody wants to touch it. Now that it's not working, this is the time to take it apart and build it again.
Is this time, though, going to make it difficult to work on issues like poverty reduction when everyone, as you pointed out, is more focused on themselves than anything else at this point?
This is precisely what I'm saying, that once we build that system, one of the wish lists will be, in this system, there will not be anybody who will be a poor person. We can make it. These are the changes we are making for that. So that had to be done. Like what? Like financial system, for example. Today, the financial system is a very parochial system. Is concentrated on a very small number of the world population. Maybe 1/3 of the world population are privileged enough to do business with the financial world. What about the 2/3 of the world? They used to explain it by saying that, oh, it cannot be done. We have shown through microcredit, through Grameen Bank, we have shown it can be done. There's no problem with that. Today is a microcredit which is functioning very well. It's the other kind of banking which is collapsing. So you cannot ignore this easily anymore. So why can't we create an inclusive financial system? If we create an inclusive financial system, we address everybody, people will come out of poverty on their own. You don't have to worry about them. They know what to do that. So this is one important thing. And many other issues that I talk about the social businesses, about the way this legal system works to keep people in poverty. Actually, legal system encourages you to stay there rather than encourage you to get out of poverty. So change those things in the process. So if you list them, the wish list, that this is what we want, we'll check every other point in our system where we need to redo the whole work and we get to the point where we create a world which will be much better than we are coming from.
Doctor, thank you very much for taking the opportunity with us. A real pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me.